Have you ever walked into a room trying to act normal while your dog looked at you like something was already wrong? You had not cried yet. You had not said anything dramatic. Maybe you had not even admitted it to yourself. But your dog paused, lifted their head, stared for a second too long, and suddenly it felt like they knew something you were still trying to hide. That moment is not magic. It is attention. Dogs live close to patterns. They know the sound of your usual footsteps, the rhythm of your breathing when you are relaxed, the way you drop your keys, the energy in your body when you come home carrying a good day versus a heavy one. To you, sadness may feel invisible. To your dog, it may arrive through dozens of tiny signals happening at once. And that is where the psychology becomes fascinating. Your dog is not sitting there thinking, my human is emotionally overwhelmed because of unresolved stress. That is not how a dog's mind works, but they are extremely good at noticing change. And sometimes the first sign that something is wrong is not what you say. It is the way your whole body becomes quieter. Humans are obsessed with faces. We look at eyes, smiles, tears, expressions. Dogs notice faces too, but they do not stop there. They read the entire body, your shoulders, your posture, the speed of your movements, the tension in your hands, the way you sit down without really settling. Before your face tells the story, your body may already be speaking. When you are sad, you often move differently. You may walk slower, avoid sudden motions, curl inward, hold your breath, or stare at one place for longer than usual. These signals may seem meaningless to another person passing by, but to a dog who shares your daily routine, they are not random. They are a break in the pattern. This is why your dog may react before you explain anything. They are not waiting for a confession. They are watching the emotional weather of your body. And because dogs evolved as social animals, paying attention to the behavior of others is part of how they stay connected, safe, and responsive. Your sadness may not need words to become visible. And before we keep going, if you love understanding the hidden psychology behind dogs and human emotions, subscribe to the channel. Not because you have to, but because the more you understand your dog, the more those small everyday moments start to make sense. And in a few minutes, you will see something even more surprising. Your dog may not only notice your sadness through your body, they may also detect it through your scent. Here is the part that feels almost unbelievable, but has a real scientific base. Your emotional state can change your body chemistry. Stress, fear, and emotional discomfort may influence hormones, sweat, breathing, and subtle chemical signals. And dogs, with their extraordinary sense of smell, are capable of detecting things humans would never notice. When you are sad or under stress, your body may release different scent cues compared to when you are calm. Your dog does not understand this as sadness in a human, poetic sense. They are not diagnosing your feelings, but they may detect that your scent is different, and that difference can make them alert, softer, more watchful, or unusually close. Think about how a dog can recognize where you have been, who you touched, what you ate, and sometimes even changes linked to health or stress. Now imagine that same nose living beside you every day. Your dog may not know the full story behind your sadness, but your body may be giving them clues before your mind forms the sentence, I am not okay. Some dogs do not rush toward you when you are sad. They get quiet, they lie nearby, they watch without interrupting, and because humans often expect comfort to look obvious, we may miss how meaningful that stillness can be. A calm dog beside you may be responding in the only way they know, by reducing pressure. When the emotional atmosphere changes, many dogs adjust their energy. If you are tense, crying, withdrawn, or exhausted, your dog may stop playing, stop barking as much, or stop demanding attention with the same intensity. This does not always mean they are confused or scared. Sometimes it means they are matching the room. There is something strangely intimate about that. Your dog may not offer advice, ask questions, or try to fix your life. They simply become present in a different way. Their quietness can feel like a small emotional mirror, reflecting back the fact that something in you has shifted. And for many people, that quiet presence is more comforting than 1,000 perfect words. Dogs can be affected by the emotional states of the people around them. This is often described as emotional contagion, one being's emotional state influencing another's. You have probably seen it before. You get excited and your dog becomes excited. You get nervous and your dog starts pacing. You feel low and your dog becomes softer, slower, or unusually attentive. This does not mean dogs experience your sadness exactly as you do. They do not carry your memories, your disappointments, your private thoughts, or the meaning behind the pain, but they may absorb the emotional tone. They sense that the person they are bonded to has changed, and their nervous system responds to that shift. And this is one reason the bond feels so powerful. Your dog does not need to fully understand your sadness to be moved by it. They only need to be connected to you. So here is a question for you. Has your dog ever acted differently when you were sad, even before you showed it clearly? Comment what they did, because sometimes these little stories reveal just how deeply dogs pay attention. One of the most interesting things about dogs is that they do not all comfort in the same way. Some dogs immediately come closer when you're sad. They press their body against your leg, lick your hand, place their head on your lap, or follow you from room to room like a quiet shadow. Other dogs do something that can feel confusing. They move away, sit at a distance, or watch you without approaching. That difference does not always mean one dog loves more than another. It may come from temperament, past experiences, confidence, training, age, and the way the dog has learned to deal with emotional intensity. A very sensitive dog may feel drawn to you but also overwhelmed by crying, tension, or sudden changes in your voice. Walking away can be a form of self-regulation, not rejection. This matters because humans often interpret comfort through human expectations. We want closeness to mean love and distance to mean coldness. But dogs have their own emotional language. A dog sitting across the room watching you carefully may still be connected to you. They may simply be saying in their own way, "I notice, I am here, but I do not know how close I should get." Your dog does not need to understand every word to notice when your voice changes. Before you say, "I am fine," your tone may already sound flatter. Your pauses may become longer. Your breathing may interrupt your sentences. Your volume may drop. Even when you try to sound normal, sadness can leak into the rhythm of your speech. Dogs are deeply responsive to vocal tone. They can learn the difference between praise, warning, invitation, frustration, affection, and tension. That is why a simple "come here" can feel completely different depending on how you say it. The words stay the same, but the emotional signal changes, and your dog is often listening to that signal more than the sentence itself. This is why pretending can fail around a dog. You may convince another person with the right words, but your dog is hearing the spaces between them. They hear the tired breath before the sentence. They notice when your voice has less life in it. And sometimes that is enough to bring them closer, make them quieter, or cause them to stare at you like they are trying to understand what changed. When your dog stays near you during a difficult moment, it can look simple from the outside. They sit beside you. They follow you to the bathroom. They sleep closer than usual. They bring a toy and drop it near your feet. But these small gestures can carry a lot of meaning inside the dog-human bond. Dogs are social animals, and many of their behaviors are shaped by attachment, routine, and sensitivity to the group. In a home, you are part of their social world. When your emotional state changes, your dog may respond by increasing contact, monitoring your movements, or placing themselves near you. It is not always protection in the dramatic sense. Often it is connection through proximity, and that is what makes these gestures powerful. Your dog may not know how to remove your sadness, but they may try to stay close to the source of the change. A paw on your knee, a nose against your hand, a body curled beside you on the couch. These are not random details. They are your dog's way of entering the moment with you, without needing to explain it. The way your dog reacts when you are sad can reveal the history between you. A dog that trusts you may feel safe enough to approach during emotional moments. A dog that has learned your routines may notice your changes faster. A dog that has been comforted by you may try, in a simple mirrored way, to offer closeness back. This bond is built in ordinary moments, not only dramatic ones. Feeding, walking, playing, resting in the same room, hearing your voice every day, learning your habits. All of this becomes emotional memory for the dog. Over time, your normal becomes familiar to them. So when your normal disappears, they notice. That is why your dog's reaction can feel so personal. They are not responding to sadness in the abstract. They are responding to you. Your smell, your voice, your posture, your silence, your routine. The more they know your daily patterns, the more powerful a small change can become. Sometimes the dog who seems to just know is really the dog who has been studying you with love for years. The most beautiful part of this is also the simplest. Your dog does not need to understand the full story to stay. They do not need to know who hurt you, what memory came back, what fear you are carrying, or why the day suddenly feels heavier than it should. Their comfort does not depend on explanation. A dog's presence can be powerful because it is not argumentative. They do not rush you to feel better. They do not interrupt your silence with advice. They do not demand that your sadness make sense. They simply notice that something is different, and in many cases they choose to remain close. That kind of presence can reach a person in a place where words cannot. So maybe dogs do not know sadness exactly the way humans know it, but they know change. They know closeness. They know the person they love feels different, and sometimes that is enough. If your dog has ever stayed beside you in a hard moment, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who understands that a dog's love is often quiet, but never empty.